5 reasons to watch UFC Fight Night VanZant vs. Waterson. UFC Fight Night VanZant vs. Waterson is live and free on Fox with Weekend. Here are 5 reasons you might want to tune in. Epic main event. Athletically gifted strawweights Paige VanZant and Michelle Waterson clash in the main event of UFC Fight Night in Sacramento. Both compete at an insane pace and produce a high output of punches, kicks and scrambles that should leave fans on the edge of their seats the entire fight. VanZant has won 4 of her 5 UFC bouts, while Waterson, a former Invicta UFC atomweight champion, has locked up submission victories in her last 3 professional fights. The winner of this fight should also find themselves in better position to challenge for the 115-pound title in 2017. Uriah's farewell fight. Longtime UFC bantamweight great Uriah Faber says he plans to call it quits after his fight against Brad Pickett on Saturday night. Faber will take the octagon for the very last time in front of a hometown crowd in Sacramento and will leave the sport as one of the most revered fighters of all time. The California kid owns 33 professional wins and 43 fights, with victories over the likes of Dominic Cruz, Jens Pulver, Scott Jorgensen and Michael McDonald. Fans have always tuned in to watch Faber fight, and for good reason. He enters Saturday with the most wins, 9, finishes, 6, and submissions, 6, in UFC bantamweight history. Faber would love nothing more than to add one more tick to those numbers before riding off into the sunset. Top prospects collide. UFC President Dana White set out to find the next crop of UFC superstars on his show, Lookin' for a Fight, and he did just that in young guns Sage Northcutt and Mickey Gall. Northcutt blasted through his first 2 UFC opponents before suffering his first career loss in January. The 20-year-old bounced back with a strong win against Enrique Marin at UFC 200 in July. He now faces Gall, who called him corny after his win over CM Punk at UFC 203. Gall, 24, and Northcutt are considered 2 of the best prospects on the entire roster. Odds are, this won't be the last time they cross paths. King Mike Perry stay platinum. Brash UFC welterweight Mike Perry burst onto the scene in August with a brutal first-round KO of veteran Yun Gyu Lim at UFC 202, and then followed that up with a come-from-behind TKO over Danny Roberts. Perry is convinced he's going to keep running through competition, but he'll face the toughest test yet in Alan Jubin. Jubin has heavy hands and is dynamic enough to exploit Perry's tendency to be overly aggressive with his striking. If Perry can pull off another finish against a vet like Jubin, he'll put the rest of the welterweight division on notice. Fresh face. The UFC bantamweight division gets a welcomed addition when former Invicta UFC bantamweight contender Irene Aldana takes on UFC veteran Leslie Smith. Aldana is a ruthless striker who uses her 5'9" frame and 68-inch reach well inside the cage. Fans who've seen Aldana fight in Invicta know what she's bringing to the table. And I'd be willing to bet UFC fans are going to enjoy it as well.